The heavens have been the home of the gods throughout all of human history. Humanity is currently inhabiting and migrating across space. If we continue along this path, we will create new spiritual beliefs and myths. We can be terrified and inspired by space. Therefore, we must modify our mentality and spirituality. Although humans have existed on Earth for millennia, that will eventually change. The call of the stars is too loud and compelling for us to ignore. Our feet have already touched the moon, and one day we will return. Then perhaps we'll travel to Mars and other planets. When we do, it will alter who we are. The attraction of Earth will have an impact on how we think and feel. It will have an impact on our mental health and spirituality, and it might even redefine humanity. Religion in the skies. Throughout human history, humans have connected our stories, faiths, and spirituality to the sky. Sky tales are scattered throughout the constellations, from Orion to Weripil, the eagle constellation of Aboriginal Australians. The Milky Way was regarded by the Lakota Native Americans as a route taken by departed souls. Jesus went up in the clouds. Ra, the god of the sun, was the main deity of the ancient Egyptians, and inside Krishna's lips, the entire universe was visible. Science fiction author, mythologist, and futurist Jason Batt have given such tales a lot of thought, as well as the ways in which our relationship with the heavens will alter once we become a spacefaring race. What then occurs to humanity? Batt, who is also a co-founder of Deep Space Predictive Research Group and a creative manager of 100 Year Starship, pondered, what will change about us? Even though we frequently link technological and scientific achievements to space travel, there is also an evident link to our myth. This is evident in the names we give to our spacebound rockets: Gemini, Apollo, and Artemis. Space travel is significant for our souls as much as for our technology. We start to create new thoughts whenever we move to a new location. These concepts give rise to stories, which then develop into myths and legends. We detect trends. We try to interpret everything. Isn't this, in a way, what spirituality is all about? Trying to relate to and comprehend something much, much bigger than ourselves. Although we have visited the moon, it has been 50 years since our last return. How will we change when we go back to the stars? It's difficult to say. However, we can hazard some guesses. Cosmic dread. The Earth was once considered to be the center of the universe by humanity. The sun then appeared. However, when we travel farther into space, we come to understand that we are not the center of the universe. Even while our star is distinctive in many ways, our part of the galaxy is undoubtedly not. In Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Douglas Adams states, "Orbiting this at a distance of roughly 92 million miles is an utterly insignificant little blue-green planet whose ape-descended life forms are so amazingly primitive that they still think digital watches are a pretty neat idea." This marks the start of a concept known as cosmic terror. The cosmos is enormous, bigger than our limited minds can actually grasp. This is similar to how we once saw the stars. Earth is in the center and the stars are a canopy above us, Batt said. But they are stars meant for our enjoyment. We learned from them. We discovered them. Now, we've managed to peek above that, and we've ventured into that space. And all of a sudden, we realize the universe is way larger, and we are way smaller than we could have ever been. And there's something very hauntingly scary when we recognize our potential insignificance in the face of all that. When the Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies eventually collide, will our societies still matter? When our sun engulfs our Earth and enlarges, would our consciousnesses still exist? We will also have to cope with this when we travel to space. The absence of gravity, cosmic radiation, and the vacuum of space make the universe a cruel environment. We would be more alone than ever if we were to leave the cozy confines of our planet. Imagine yourself as an astronaut traveling on an intergalactic spacecraft to the following planetary system. Imagine, says Batt, reaching a point where the sun and the stars we are traveling to are both just dots. Are we psychologically equipped to deal with that feeling of isolation? The overall impact. Space travel is not entirely horrible. When we travel to space, we can also have another spiritual experience. The space philosopher Frank White came up with the term overview effect to describe this genuine shift in viewpoint. The overview effect, which many astronauts have previously felt, is a deep spiritual experience that astronauts say they undergo when they stare out at Earth from space. Nations' borders dissolve when astronauts look at our world, and they are astounded by how thin our atmosphere actually is. They witness the planet's amazing vulnerability. Professor Deanna Wabel of Grand Valley State University's Anthropology Department and Religious Studies program conducted interviews with a number of astronauts who had traveled to space and discovered that they had a variety of experiences. The idea that the atmosphere is wafer thin, that the Earth needs protection, and that it is a vehicle in space that sustains humans has emerged, according to Wabel, among other broad themes. People can still get this experience without traveling to space thanks to the Overview Institute. They contend that the impact of viewing our entire globe from space is so deep that it can have an impact on every aspect of life, including how our minds function and how we address pressing concerns like climate change and world peace. A view of Earth from orbit can change the way we think. We are no longer citizens of a certain hamlet, city, or nation. Instead, we share the planet with all other people, regardless of race, nationality, or religion, as well as with all pandas, beetles, and birds. We are all a part of the same cosmic spaceship. Wabel discussed another spiritual influence astronauts experience when staring in the opposite direction. When astronauts look out in the universe from space, once their eyes become dark-adjusted, she calls this the ultraview effect. They frequently describe a universe with no gap between the stars, only a dense concentration of stars that resemble a white wall. Some of them are now persuaded that there is unquestionably life in the stars, thanks to it. Rewriting our narratives. It will alter us and our spirituality as we continue to ascend into the sky. We've just dipped our toes in the water, according to Bat. It goes beyond simple propulsion. It goes beyond simple exploration. It goes beyond satellites. Humanity must understand that we are entering the home of the gods. Could you ever see the moon as nothing more than a sphere in the sky if you eventually set foot on it? Would you instead recognize it for what it truly is? A whole universe into itself, complete with valleys, mountains, dust, and a place to stand. Imagine living not only on the International Space Station, but also on Mars, the moon, or perhaps a multi-generational spacecraft traveling the galaxy in the far future. The skies and the Earth, as in the ground beneath our feet, are integral parts of so many myths, religions, and spiritualities. How will things change when individuals no longer adhere to these ideas? Future generations will undoubtedly have different perspectives on space than we have. The moon might serve as both home and a light in the night sky. What are they going to think about Earth? Will it resemble Eden, the place from which humans first emerged, or a rudimentary version of hell? Will it shine brightly in the night sky, or will it only be a tiny dot? Share your thoughts with us today. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't miss out on our latest uploads. If you wish to stay up to date with the latest space updates and discoveries, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and turn on all notifications to see more of our latest videos in the future.